What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Dialed Podcast. This is going to be episode 8. In this episode today, we are going to be talking about fitness plateaus. If you're stalling in the gym, if you feel like you're not making progress, if you can't gain weight, if you can't lose weight, if you're stuck, this is going to be the episode for you. I am your host, Nick McElhenney. This is my co-host, Anthony Beretta. And say hi.
What's going on, family?
All right. So let's dive into this week's episode. So first things first, I want to just ask, let's just put this question out here because I've been asked it a million times, right? And full transparency, before we got on this episode, we jumped on Claude and we were like, Claude, we want you to search Reddit for all of the most commonly asked fitness questions, and we're going to do an episode over it. And this is what we came up with, right? So first things first, the biggest question that was asked is, I'm not making progress. What's wrong? And
Yeah, it's
I
just
think
like
for
so
both
much.
of us, me and Ant being coaches, that question is almost funny because there's just so little information. It's hard to go off of. It's kind of like at that point, like, what's not wrong? What are you doing? Like, are you even in the gym? Like, there's so many follow-up questions. But I mean, Ant, what's your first take if somebody asks you that question?
Yeah, I would essentially have them break down to me like what they're exactly doing, right? So it's like break down both your nutrition and training, right? So like training wise, like what are you doing when you go to the gym, right? Are you just going mindlessly, like going to any exercise you see fit, right? Say you have back that day and you're just like, oh, I'm just gonna hit a row, a lat pull over, a pull down, and then just kind of like, do like 10 minutes of cardio and go home? Or do you actually have like an actual schedule when you go to the gym? Are you actually focusing on progressive overload? Like, what's your technique? Are you focusing on good form? Like, give me a breakdown in that aspect. And then when it comes down to nutrition, also give me a breakdown of what you're actually consuming throughout the day. Not only like how much of what you're consuming, but also the quality of what you're consuming too. Like what's going into your body, because you can have 200 grams of like really good protein, or you can have 200 grams of really horrible protein. So you have to also break that down and give me the wide perspective of both. So what about you?
I mean, first of all, the first thing I would ask if somebody asked, I'm not making progress, what's wrong? I would define what progress even means to them. Like, are you trying to lose fat? Are you trying to build muscle? Like, even if, say somebody is trying to lose fat and they are trying to build muscle at the same time, but they're just like, I don't understand. I'm not seeing, like, first of all, it's not really possible to put on a bunch of muscle when you're in a deficit. It's just not how it works, right? Your body needs a caloric surplus to put on muscle tissue. So that is kind of debunked there. And then as far as, if you're not seeing progress past that, I would ask, well, first of all, are you in the gym? If you are in the gym, how many times a week are you training out? Or are you working out? Are you consistent in it? Or is it more so of like I work out 1 week and then the next week I get busy at work, so I don't work out. And then I kind of teeter totter. And then, 3 weeks go by and then I decide that, it's probably time to get back in the gym. Like that, there's your problem there. You're not staying consistent in the gym. And, if the question is, I'm just not putting on muscle, the argument can be brought up is, and I've actually had a lot of people come to me and say this. I feel like a lot of people, when they first get in the gym, they don't realize how much or how hard they actually really need to train. I've had a couple people come to me and they're like, well, once I kind of got through the basics and understood what I was doing and stopped training to, how did they put it? They were like, once I stopped training to moderate discomfort
Yeah.
and more so started training to actual failure, that's when they started to see results. And then after they plateaued on that, they realized it was diet. And then usually by then they realized having a coach would help because there is a lot that goes into diet and it's a lot easier if you can partner up with somebody to help make that whole process a lot easier.
Yeah.
But
It's funny too, because when I first started coaching people, and I would get this question a lot, is like, hey, I'm not making any progress in the gym. Like, what do you think the issue is? The first thing I have them do is send me over training footage. And from the training footage that I do see, it's just like what you said, right? They're just training till mild discomfort. And it's like, okay, you still have at least 3, 4 left in the tank. Why aren't you going to that? And then they're like, oh, it's not comfortable. I don't want to get injured, And it's like, okay, see, that makes sense. So
and that's really where you're stalling out. And that's also the thing too. I think I talk about this a lot, but like it's funny because I feel like in the gym, the first couple of reps, all you're trying to do is get to the point where you are about to hit failure. right? That's the point that you want to get to, that you're going to see muscle growth from. But so many people will just get so close to that and then just be like, yeah, no, I'm good. I'm done. Like the whole point is to get to that failure point. And once you're there, like you're finally there, like you need to hit a couple reps, and that's what drives results, and what drives growth. And so many people just get so close. And then like at that point, I'm not saying that the whole set was useless, but at the same time, like you just lost, so like you did all of these reps to get to this point and then you gave up before you even got to that point. Does that make any sense?
Whatsoever. Yeah. Especially if, like, put it this way, you've been in the gym for a very long time and it's like, okay, your numbers aren't going up. And it's like, what's really going on here? Are you just training just to train, or are you training with like actual purpose? Right. So there's got to be a purpose behind it as well. So always look back at what you're doing. I would always record yourself too, because sometimes like recording yourself and then taking a look at not only your form, but also like taking a look at if you can do any better, right? And then sending it over to your coach if you have a coach, right? That's the beautiful part about having a coach, is they have an unbiased opinion about you, right? Like for me, for an example, I have such a biased opinion about myself. I think I look fat 24/7, but when it comes down to my coach, it's like, yeah, it's a different perspective and they're very unbiased in how they'll be judging what I'm actually doing. So, yeah, I think that's a huge marker there, is like always send it to someone else too for review too.
Definitely, and lean on other people that are there to help you, right? Like that's where I saw like I just recently hit a plateau, and I realized I was really lacking on my training intensity. So you know what I did? Instead of whining about it and being a little bitch, I leaned on somebody who could help me get there. And I put my ego, my pride aside, and I was like, I suck at this. How can I get better? Well, one, I'm recognizing it as a problem, and two, I'm going to somebody that I know will help me be better. And like you can't, you're not Superman for the most part. Most people are not Superman. If you're struggling with something, admit that you're struggling with it and reach out to somebody, or at least just admit that you are struggling. That's the first step. But as far as, things come to, I'm not making progress, I feel like more so we've been talking about it from the angle of like, I guess, muscle growth or just overall strength and progressing in the gym. More, I kind of want to like shift things a little bit more now. And let's kind of cover if you're cool with it, let's cover the weight loss, fat loss angle. And then we can kind of go into a little bit more detail as far as like the muscle gaining side of things. But as far as I'm not making progress, what's wrong if I'm trying to lose weight? What would you say the first thing that you would tell somebody is in that regards?
Show me your diet. Show me everything that you're consuming,
Sweden.
bro. Yeah, what you eating? What are you picking up with that fork? I think, and it's funny because I had a conversation with one of my potential new clients over the phone earlier today, and I was telling her, I was like, "What's the first thing that you're gonna do if you want to lose weight?" And I want you to tell me. She's like, "Okay, first thing that I would do is, I would get lettuce, and I already knew where this was going, just eating pure salads, just going straight from what she's eating now to just pure salads,
Starve
and just
myself.
like
That's the only way to
starve
lose weight.
myself. Yeah, like any way possible, just get this weight off. And it's like, okay, well, that's horrible, because not only are you going to plateau, but it's like you don't have anything to build off of, right? So I would want to see, like, nutritionally speaking, what are you consuming? And the biggest issue that I see go wrong is people try all these like really whack diets to try to, like, these fads to try to lose weight because it's worked for someone else, and then they try it themselves and they're like, okay, I have no energy, I can't go to the gym, I feel like crap, your hormones get out of whack, it's just like the whole night, and you start spiraling out of control. That's how plateaus happen. So that's what I would do. What about you?
Well, I mean, first of all, yeah, I would ask like, are you one, what are you eating? How many meals are you eating a day is probably my first question. And then from there, I'm like, all right, cool. Like, what is a full day of eating from as me as a coach? That's somebody that that's a question that I would ask is like, what does a full day of eating look like for you? And then I'll kind of help break that down through them with them and then kind of give advice where I need to. But I mean, the biggest thing that I see with people is, especially when I ask a question like that, is they're like, well, I skip breakfast for the most part. Sometimes I'll have like a banana or like a yogurt. And then lunch, I typically I like beef and rice, but like it just depends if like I pack it that day. Sometimes like honestly, like McDonald's is just the most convenient thing because I'm at work and it's right across the street. And then dinner, it's just kinda like whatever me and my girlfriend wanna make that night. So, like, sometimes we'll pick up some takeout and then and, like
Dude,
the
my
moral of
favorite
the
part
story.
dude,
Sorry, go ahead.
my favorite part, no, I'm sorry to cut you off, but my favorite part is, like, when someone eats like a rat throughout the entire day, and then at nighttime, they become like this monster who just eats everything in their fridge. I don't know if you've ever seen that yourself,
So
but
many
I've seen that
people.
multiple yeah, it's like it sucks, you know?
Yeah, and it's just like that you're pretty much doing like a 1 meal a day diet, and we talked in the previous episode how that is just not good for you. I mean, just to very simply break that down, right? Let's talk about protein. How much protein do you need to eat in a day? Well, you need to eat, let's say, on average for the typical person, they eat their body weight in grams of protein, right? If you're 150 pounds, you need to eat 150 grams of protein. That's simple. Are you going to get 150 grams of protein in one meal? No.
Like
Even if you,
insane.
like, eat a ton of food, 'cause you're on a OMAD, like, 1 meal a day diet, you're more than
Oh,
likely not gonna
do
hit
have to say this
150 grams
too.
of protein.
I do have to preface this. I'm sorry to cut you off, but I've had that people tell me this multiple times. If I'm 350 pounds, oh, I have to eat 350 grams of protein. No, no, please do not have
How do you solve
350.
that one? That's a good yeah, how do you solve that one? I have a good way to solve that.
How do you solve? Well,
Yeah, what
like
do you
if
tell
someone is
people that
like
are, like,
overweight,
350 obviously,
overweight
they don't need to eat 350 grams of protein.
if someone's overweight at 350 pounds, it's like the goal weight that you want to achieve, right? If you're like 6'2", I would do, I mean, dude, a really good marker for that is around like 200 grams protein, right? So like, even if you're just doing this on your own, you just want to get in good shape, you don't need to have 350 grams of protein. So I would just go based off a baseline like that. Like, what is your goal weight? And then go from there.
You know what I do to kinda give a quick estimate? I wonder if you've heard this before. I take their height in centimeters and then add a gram at the end. So, like, if you're 5'8", "Hey, computer, how many centimeters is 5 feet 8 inches?" 172. 5'8", 172.
Right?
172 grams of protein. Gets pretty close. So, for somebody that's overweight, say they're, say they're 5'8", but they're 300 pounds,
Yeah.
172 that's a good amount of protein to hit for
Yeah.
to
It
aim
really
for.
is.
So, yeah, let's see. I don't even really remember what topic. I don't remember where we were at.
Yeah, we were basically talking about getting in an ample amount of protein in throughout the day, and yeah, you were just
My
talking about that.
diet's why it was bad. Oh yeah, I was asking the question like, what is a full day of eating and common full days of eating? First of all, stop skipping breakfast, please. Like breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Like I think that's a little bit of baloney, but like every meal is kind of important. But yeah, if you're only having 2 meals a day, which is on average usually what people do if they skip breakfast, because in society it's normalized to have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I think that's bullshit. By the way, I think breakfast, lunch, and dinner is a scam. I've made a video of this on I made a video about this on Instagram, and I think it did pretty decent. But I think breakfast, lunch, and dinner is a scam. Like, did you know? Like, man, I don't have the facts on me, and it's been a minute since I've talked about it. But like, breakfast was literally like designed by like cereal companies to sell more cereal,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
like. Yeah, and think about like 1,000 years ago. You think we were eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner? No, we were just eating whenever we could get food.
Hmm.
We're probably eating more than 3 meals a day.
Going back to the caveman diet.
Yeah, that's something that that anytime, like, I question myself or people in fitness, I'm just like, would cavemen be eating this? Like, what would cavemen do? And if it's something that, like, cavemen wouldn't have access to, like, more than likely, don't do it.
I'll do it. Yeah.
So,
That's funny.
but yeah, just I would definitely recommend eating more than 3 meals a day. I would definitely push more 5 to 6. We've talked about this before. We talked about this on the last episode. I won't really go into too much detail on it, but that's basically the first question that I would ask somebody as far as like, if you're not losing weight, what are you eating? And then the second question is, say that they are on some beautiful meal plan that they made. They're still not losing weight. Why not? Well, one, is the meal plan calculated correctly? And two, let's factor in hidden calories that a lot of people don't think about. For example, cooking oil, very big one. A lot of people, they're like, yes, I need to eat chicken and rice. They cook their chicken in a bunch of olive oil. You're adding on so many calories to just like, you might think, like, I think a lot of people just think, okay, cool, to cook, I need to use oil and I need to just drown my protein, or I need to drown whatever I'm cooking in oil to cook it. That's not like, or no, it's like, it's not a nonstick pan, so I need to use oil. Okay, cool. That will still, regardless, that's going to rack a ton of calories up in fat, right? What you should do instead is you should get some spray oil, right? Spray oils mixed with, I'm pretty sure, aerosol. Anyways, there's lower, you're dispensing a lot less oil. So there is calories in it. That's a very common myth that like spray oil has 0 calories. If you use enough of it, there will definitely be some calories added
Yeah.
to it.
Right.
But for the most part, it's misted, right? So you're getting way more, like you're still getting, for example, if you don't have a nonstick pan, you're still giving yourself enough oil to make your shit not stick to the pan. And on top of that, you're not adding on a million calories. So yeah, another thing that you could do is, and that I've done, or I have right now, is like you can buy like a little like oil sprayer off of like Amazon or something, and you can just load your own oil into it and then just use that to reduce the amount of oil and not have to just like continuously buy these cans and save a little bit of money there. I feel pretty bougie doing that, but
Yeah,
yeah.
I did the same thing.
Okay,
It
cool. I'm not
feels
the only one.
great, yeah. Yeah,
Wow,
you're not the only
I thought I was onto something, dude. That was
TikTok
my little
shop.
secret.
Sorry, I beat you
Yeah,
to it.
yeah. And then let's see. I don't know. I'll let you
Well,
do.
so
You go.
I was
What's
gonna
another
say
hidden
that one
calorie?
of the yeah, one of the biggest ones that I see is, I call you the nibbler, and, these are the people when you're cooking food, you take little bites of what you're cooking without thinking, "These have calories in." I'll give you prime example, say you're cooking even, like, chicken, steak, beef, rice, sweet potato, anything like that, and you're, like, meal prepping it for the rest of the week, but you start nibbling on it as you're, like, cooking it, right? I see this all the time. And, having that around and then a bunch of trigger foods in your house and then sauces. I mean, sauces, right? Like, look at the back of the nutrition label. Please, for the love of glob, look at the back of the nutrition label. You do not know how many calories are in those bottles. So, especially like even a low calorie sauce, even if it says like 15 calories on the back per serving, look how many servings you're putting on to the
That's a big
scale.
thing. Yes,
That's a
actually
really
reading
big
the
thing.
serving size is a
Yes.
very big thing. And I think a lot of people actually don't even look at the nutrition label. I think a lot of people don't even really know how to read a nutrition label, if we're being honest.
No.
This is
Yeah. Yeah.
America. So,
I guess we could go over really quick. Well, protein has 4 calories per gram, carbs 4 calories per gram, fat is 9 calories per gram.
well, let's just
Wow.
go like if we're looking at a sauce, for example, what
Yeah.
I let you answer. You know what? No, I'm gonna answer.
Yeah, please do. You're the
But
macro king.
I guess so. I've done 4 bodybuilding shows off of macros now, so
Ma
well, that being said, like, I'm pretty sure, like, 4 weeks out is when we put in a meal plan, so they weren't macroed all the way up to the end. So,
It's
by the way,
alright.
I
Go for
really
it, king.
yeah.
You got it.
Anyways, yeah, so sauces, right? What you wanna be looking for sauces, and I tell all of my guys this when they sign up. I'm like, "Listen, if you wanna get some sugar-free sauces, I really don't care if you use them, but look at the back. Make sure that, make sure that you are first off looking at fats, right? Honestly, I don't even really look at the calorie count. I just go straight to the macros, and I look to make sure, there is less than 2. I wouldn't ever get a sauce that's over 2 grams of fat per serving. Again, look at that serving size. Serving size can often get doubled, tripled, maybe even quadrupled when it comes to sauces, right? So if you get a sauce that is 2 grams of fat per serving and you end up eating 3 servings of that with your food, you're instead of 2 grams of fat, you're up to 6 grams of fat now. And that's a lot of extra calories that you're not even accounting for. Not to mention other macronutrients like, carbs. Carbs are another thing that you want to look at. Now, circling back to fats before I get on to carbs, fats, I would ideally like, I wouldn't, honestly, I would not get any sauces with fat in it. It's not worth it. And it just, yeah, anyways. And then carb wise, I would say don't get anything that's more than like I would look for a sugar-free sauce that has like 1 to 2 grams of carbs in it per serving. I wouldn't get anything over like 3, 4. 5 is like absolute no-go. 4,
Mm.
maybe I would push myself to, but I would be sure that I'm looking at the serving size. But like if you get a sugar-free sauce that's 4 grams of carbs per serving, again, and you have like 3 or 4 servings, like 4 times 4 is 16 grams of carbs that you're not accounting to, man. Like accounting for, and probably on a daily basis. Those stack up. And then if you're doing that mixed with, using regular oil, like no wonder you're not losing weight, right?
Put it this way, like, at least I give, if I can, I give my guys at least 4 to 6 meals a day. It's like, you're doing that, not just in 1 or 2 meals, you're doing that every single meal, adding sauces to your and I'm the kinda guy who adds the same sauce, like, to every single one of my meals. Of course, I switch it up here and there, but, like, if you're adding the same sauce and you're going over on calories on every single meal, my god, that's like hundreds of extra calories usually, like, if you're not thinking about it.
What are your favorite sauces?
Good one. Right now, Frank's Red Hot Buffalo and, G. Hughes
Buffalo,
sweet
not the
chili.
original?
I like it a little bit, but I like the buffalo. Yeah, I'm
Fair.
more of a buffalo guy,
I've
and
always
then,
I
yeah, G. Hughes.
That's fair. I honestly don't like the buff I don't taste the difference. I don't taste the difference. The buffalo has like 3 times the sodium. Not that that matters for either of us right now, but
Yeah.
it's the principle, okay?
It is the principle, yeah.
But yeah, G Hughes, what's your favorite G Hughes? Sorry, I interrupted you.
Honey mustard and sweet chili.
G
Sweet
Hughes
chili
makes a
has
honey
the art.
mustard?
Yes, and it's so good. So, so
Really?
good.
Wow. Okay.
Tastes great.
G Hughes sugar-free ketchup is fire, by the way. If you've ever tried like Heinz's sugar-free ketchup and you're like, no, sugar-free ketchup sucks, Heinz's sugar-free ketchup sucks. It's not all created equal. Try G Hughes's. Yeah, anything by G Hughes, dude, like their barbecue is so good as well. I would say their sugar, I would say their sweet chili, but you already said that. That's a fire flavor. Their barbecue, they got like they make like a maple barbecue that I haven't had in a long time, but it was really freaking good. There's just nowhere sells it in the store. No, yeah, I don't like it. What about the what is it called? It's the sugar-free. It's not a. It's technically not. They don't label it as a syrup. They label it as a chocolate sauce, but it's literally like zero everything. No, it's not Walnut Farms. Fuck Walnut Farms. That's straight chemicals. That is straight chemicals. But entertain the people. I'm gonna go check my fridge. Skinny mixes, dude. Yeah, Jordan's Skinny Mixes syrups. This is the double fudge flavor that I'm holding in my hand for people that are on Spotify. Sorry, you can't see it. But yeah, it's super good. I'm gonna have to look into that. I know what I'm ordering tonight. Yeah, there's this double fudge flavor, fire. I've tried their salted caramel, also fire. I'll mix that in things like yogurt for an extra little ninja creamy. Yeah. I also just got a creamy. So yes, send me your recipes. Also, anybody listening, please send me your recipes. So I'm very happy. I'm gonna be abusing that thing. I think you just cracked the code. I'm definitely gonna have to come back and listen to this episode. That sounds gas. I never would think to microwave a bear bell. Do you remember when we went to Andy's after your show? Andy's, so you went back there, you liked it? Dude. So if for anybody that's not listening or that's listening and doesn't know, Andy's makes they're like a frozen custard place. And they make a custard where they essentially like make a hole in the middle of it and then they fill it with shit like hot fudge or like brownie or like whatever you want in the middle of it. Do what? Yeah, I think it's a jackhammer or something like that. But yeah, they put it in the middle. And so it sounds like you're doing exactly that, but like with a bear bell. Sounds gas, bro. Might need to try that. Do you ever put like xanthan gum or anything in it to like thicken it? Because there's xanthan gum in there too, right? I'm pretty sure there's xanthan gum in the. Yeah, yeah, smart. I'm gonna need to get to cooking. Also, if anybody listening to this has some good Ninja Creamy recipes, DM me Instagram at Nick McElhenney, McElhinney. Anyways, okay. Any other hidden calories you can think of? Person who's literally just not sticking to their diet. The person that's not tracking your food. Track your food. Use a scale. It's not that much work. Yeah. And like one little nibble of things, like it will add up, dude. So yeah, don't do it. Stick to your timed meal plan. Timed meals. Don't have anything in between, especially if you're having 4 to 6 meals a day. By the time you get hungry again, and by the time like a craving hits, it's time for another meal. So that's another reason that I would encourage people to not eat 2 meals a day or 3 meals a day and skip breakfast. Yeah. Anything else that you would tell somebody who is just not making progress in a cut? Yeah. Thoughts on people that are listening to this that think that they can do a cut without tracking their food? You're going to lose muscle. And if you're not tracking and it still seems so like, I don't know what the word is, but like so daunting, like just do it. Get a scale, figure out how to use it. It's not hard. Like it's so much easier than you think it is. Get a calorie tracker app. I honestly, this isn't a plug, but I love Macro Factor. I've used Macro Factor for the last like 4 years now. If you're listening to this, you know who Jeff Nippert is. It's his app and I love it. It's super aesthetic. It's easy to use. They have a big library of different foods and that's been my go-to. I'm a very big like aesthetic guy. And like MyFitnessPal, I think is the go-to for like logging food. And you can use MyFitnessPal if you want to, but I just think it's fucking ugly and it has ads all over the place. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure like Macro Factor's cheaper than the MyFitnessPal Premium that people end up buying anyways. I think it's like $9 or $10 a month, but it's worth it in my opinion. Show. Yeah. Anyways, do you want to quickly go into I'm not making any progress in my bulk or my growth phase? Yeah. Okay, let's do this. Let's do this. Sorry, I had to interrupt. But let's talk about actually growing in a surplus or trying to like main gain. Well, yeah, yeah. What are your thoughts? Is main gaining worth it? Yeah. No, I mean, I completely agree. And if you're not like educated enough, or like if you're not a coach yourself, like you're gonna plateau. You're not gonna update things appropriately, and like it's really hard. Even as a coach, it's kind of difficult to find somebody's maintenance. Not gonna lie, like so many different factors can affect it. Like true maintenance, you know. So yeah, I would definitely say it's worth it. Also, I think the type of people that if you get lean once, you're not gonna get fat. That's kind of I don't know, contradictory, but like I would say if you get lean first and you have a lean base, right? And then you just keep training hard and gradually put more food on top of that, you're not going to get fat like you think you are. Does that make sense? I think a lot of people, they get really lean and they look really good. Me, for example, and they're scared to add a little bit of food in 1 week at a time because they're worried that they're going to get fat. But in reality, like you're not going to look like if you're gradually going up in weight, you're not going to look like Janet that has McDonald's every single day. You're not going to be 250 pounds with a big beer belly gut. You're just gonna be the same physique. You're still gonna look like you work out. You're still gonna look jacked. If not, you're gonna look even more like you work out through your t-shirt because you're defined, you've got more mass to you. Your abs might be a little bit more feathered, but at the end of the day, you're still gonna look like you work out. Your abs are still pretty much gonna be visible as long as you don't take the growth phase too far. And like, yeah, yes, yeah. But and for the most part, if you go through a whole bodybuilding prep, like you don't even coming out of it, like you don't look at food the same. You don't look at eating the same. Like you know what you should and you shouldn't be doing. And I think it would be a lot harder for somebody who's done a bodybuilding prep to just get straight up fat. Period. Yeah. Yeah. Basically, I say all that to say, not. I mean, I do kind of take back what I said. It's definitely possible for somebody to get fat if they've done a bodybuilding show, especially coming out of it. If you don't nail your reverse 100%, like you will get fat. There's no question about it. But the main point that I was trying to make there, just to clarify, is that you know better. You know what you're doing. You know eating excess food is going to make you put on the weight, and you're more aware of the foods that you are eating and how they are going to affect your body rather than, what did I say, Amy that goes to McDonald's every single day. She doesn't understand the importance of macros. She doesn't understand calories in, calories out. She doesn't understand macros. She probably doesn't even know what a macro means, you know? So it's just a lot easier for, especially if you go through a bodybuilding prep. Basically, all I'm trying to say is like you come out a lot more educated at the end of it. Real quick, I feel like we're ready to tie this episode up with the cherry on top. But anything else that you want to go over as far as people that are trying to grow? I guess we really didn't even get into that too much, but I guess if somebody came to me and they said, I'm not seeing progress in my growth or in my bulk, and I am somebody who has said that, I would say, one, look at your carb intake. Well, if you're not tracking your food, one, track your food, even if you're trying to grow. That's probably a big misconception is I just want to put on size, so I'm not going to track my food. No, dummy, you should track your food even more. Even if you're trying to like dirty bulk. One, don't be that guy. And two, don't be that guy. And three, just track your food. But carb intake is a very big thing. Whenever I first got into bodybuilding, I was a skinny bitch. And I probably would have stayed a skinny bitch for a very long time if I didn't get a coach and realize that I was like, I thought I was eating a lot of carbs and I wasn't at all. Like I probably tripled my carb intake after I got with my after I got with my coach. And yeah, I just was not eating. So definitely up your carb intake. Don't be afraid to do that. Carbs are not the enemy. Make sure that you're having a pre-workout and a post-workout meal. Basically, if you're struggling to grow, make sure that you're eating at least 5 meals a day. And if you're still struggling, up it to 6 meals a day. But I genuinely believe like you will make your life so much harder than it needs to be if you're trying to grow and only eating 3 meals a day. So just eat more. Yeah. So that's why I say breakfast, lunch, and dinner is a scam. You're going to see a lot better results. Your metabolism is going to be a lot better. Overall, your body will just thank you more. You'll be able to see, yeah, if you just eat 4 to 6 meals a day and not the typical 3 to 5. I think that's what holds a lot of people back because they're so stuck on the fact that I need to just eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. No, don't be afraid to like break the norm. And if you want to just eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner, cool. Eat breakfast, lunch, dinner, and a pre-workout and a post-workout meal. There you go. But yeah, I think that's all I got. Yeah, definitely. Well said. Well said. Definitely just track at least one lift per lift, right? Barbell bench press, for example. Like you know how much you bench, bro. You should be able to know at least another couple baseline movements like that. Well, thank you guys for tuning into this week's episode. Next week, stay tuned because we're going to have a special guest on the episode for the first time. Something that me and Ant want to continue doing. So yeah, super excited to see where the direction of the podcast goes for in the future. We're officially 8 episodes in. Thank you for everybody that has supported us up until this point. If this is your first time here, welcome to the Dialed fam. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you all in the next one. Peace.